Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
You're listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
Oh, you're gonna use this one. I know that you will. Okay, whose phone number is this? 867-5309. 867-5309. I'm going to give you a second. Yes, it's Jenny's number. Right. Well, here's a fun trick. Next time you're at a store and you don't have a loyalty card, try using your area code followed by 867-5309. That's right. I was saying, like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Well, a lot of people use fake numbers when they sign up for those programs, and Jenny's number is one of the most popular ones because people are using it from the song. Yes, you're going to find so many accounts tied to it. And you see, this is just an example of the wealth of knowledge and intellect and fun that happens here week after week on the nation's #1 show about all things digital, because I'm Kim Komando, your beloved digital goddess, and I am sitting here right now ready to take your phone calls and ready to pass along so much stuff to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left tech behind in the digital dust. Now, you can find the Kim Komando Show on over 420 top stations throughout the United States. Of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast in your favorite podcast player. Just search for Komando with a K, of course. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. Get the Kim Komando Show. I just love that. And just a reminder that great sponsors help to make the show possible. So as I pass along some money-saving promo codes and also some special web addresses, if you're sitting there saying, oh, what was that, Kim? What was that? Well, just go to one spot, komando.com/sponsors. And the Komando hotline's open right now at 1-888-825-5254. And just a reminder, you can always make an appointment to speak with me here on the show by going to komando.com. That's the official homepage, of course. And then there's a link at the top that says Ask Kim. Alrighty then, every single day I dive into at least 35, 40 different sources to make sure that we both know exactly what's happening in the tech world. And here are 5 things that you need to know about right now. And we're going to start with an extortion demand that is no longer just coming to you through email. The latest generation of cyber criminals have decided that they better off licking stamps and sending frightening extortion demands through the U.S. Postal Service. That's right. So when you check your mail, you could get an extortion letter that's not full of any misspelled messages coming from Nigeria or India. It's actually official looking, sent through the U.S. Postal Service to a company's top brass. And they say that if the company fails to pay, a $300,000 ransom in Bitcoin by a certain date, then they're going to paralyze the entire company's network. And a QR code is even provided for easy payment. Oh, aren't they just so nice? So if you do get a letter in the mail like this, obviously don't respond. Don't scan the QR code. You want to call the postal authorities, and whatever you do, don't pass it along. All right, moving on to number 2. If you're ready for some real Star Trek technology. Now, let's go back in time. The original Star Trek was filmed in 1966 and was set in the year 2226. And of course, today's technology doesn't include Star Trek communicators. We have something much better. Yes, smartphones. Some already connect to satellites. All are really, truly powerful computers that we take everywhere. Artificial intelligence was on it all in a flash. We can talk to our computer, it talks back, and everyone's got one. Diagnostic medical devices like the tricorder are actually beginning to appear. And here is some big news. By the end of this year, Google and HP are going to have ready 3D video calling. What is 3D video calling? Wow. I want you to think of the whole transporter with the Star Trek Enterprise. You're not going to need any special glasses or goggles. Multiple AI cameras are going to create images of people in real 3D. The other person will look like they're just sitting right in front of you. Wow. Isn't that amazing? By the end of this year. No price yet, by the way. Moving on to number 3, if you buy a new car, it comes loaded with just a ton of technology, and everything is on a touchscreen. Maybe you have voice commands. Buttons and knobs are gone. Well, the Wall Street Journal reports that drivers love new car tech, but only to a point. Wireless charging, fabulous. Heated and air conditioning seats, we love those. So is assisted driving technology. Got to have it. But when it comes to passenger side video screens, infrared night vision, gesture controls, and touchscreens, the love affair stops, and we all get so insanely frustrated. So too many touchscreens will lead to distractions, which leads to a question. Why do passengers need their own video screen anyway? I mean, remember when door handles were just simple? Now they pop out when you're near. I almost got my fingers cut off my mind the other day. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So note to car manufacturers, we love technology, but you are overwhelming all of us. And moving on to number 4, let's talk about 5G. Let's play a quick true or false question about your phone. If the phone shows that 5G symbol, do you have the fastest and best service there is? Think about that. True or false? Now, the answer is false. The Washington Post reports that even though your phone may say 5G, you may only be getting LTE or even 4G service. So how can you tell? This is really something. Look for the small letters next to the 5G icon. On T-Mobile, it's going to show up as 5G UC. AT&T displays 5G and the letter E. On Verizon, it's 5G. Wow. So why would a 5G icon appear even when it's not 5G? It's the way that the networks are configured. Sometimes to just say battery life, your phone may step down to a slower speed. So just keep that in mind if you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't have the connection that I need. Which, by the way, if that ever happens, what you should do is just turn off your phone, turn it back on, and that reboot, that power cycle may just get you to a real 5G connection. Moving on to number 5. Wow. When it comes to dating, are you using protection? What? Okay, we're not talking about things to keep you safe and STD free. There's something that protects you from going viral for all the wrong reasons. It's called, are you ready for it? A digital condom. Okay, it's not latex. You don't have to slip it over your phone. Camdom is a new app from Germany that blocks any sneaky recordings in the bedroom. Here's how it works. You and your partner place your phones super close by. You hit a button on the app, and then both the cameras and mics are locked down. So if someone tries to sneak a recording, the app will sound an alarm. But let's be real here. If you can't trust someone not to hit record in the heat of the moment, maybe it's time to hit pause on the relationship. Yes, right? Better latex than never. Ooh, I think I heard a groan. All right, coming up, I have some great tips. Wow, you're just going to love them. Like, for example, how you can try a laptop out. What? Yes, you really can do that. Oh, there's another scam that's spreading all throughout the country. It has to do with toll roads. And we're going to talk about how you can make AI your fitness coach. And if you're not using Google Lens, I'm going to tell you why you should. And of course, we just have the best callers ever here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, you need a new iPhone, and maybe you can't afford it. Well, if you go to winfromkim.com right now, you could enter to win an iPhone 16 Pro, a $999 value. No purchase required. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about Google Lens. And if you haven't tried this app, it's so amazing. And before we get to that, wow, Jenny in Atlanta, Georgia, you are having a major problem. All I see is husband cheating.
Hello.
So what's going on?
Oh, I would like to find out about how my husband's cheating. I have a cheating husband, and I need some help with him.
Well, tell me what's going on, Jenny.
Okay. First, this began as someone that was watching porn, a porn watcher.
Okay.
I caught him caught him doing that. And he told me he gave it up. So, but he hadn't given up anything because he's been on dating sites and other sites that was similar to the porn sites, and it's kind of escalated from that to calling women on the phone to, I don't know if he's actually saw someone in person or not. I can't say that he has. I just have a gut feeling.
All right, so he was hanging out on the porn sites, and then you said, "Hey, listen, that's not part of our relationship. I don't want you there." And he
Right.
and he agreed and said, "Okay, you know what? You're important to me, so I'm not going to do that anymore." And then now, how did you find out that he was even on the porn sites? And then also, how did you know that he was actually on the dating sites as well?
Well, we kind of shared a tablet, and he would look up parts, for his vehicles and things like that. And so I got on there to look up something, and I thought, oh, well, it's in my history. I'll just go back to the history. Well, when I went to the history, lo and behold, what did I see? I saw Pornhub and, I don't know, several other sites, and I thought, Pornhub? I've never been to any of those sites. So I clicked on a couple of them, and I like to pass out.
Oh, wow.
I thought, surely he can't be doing this. And then he told me, say this was in July, just for instance, and then he told me that he had stopped it in May, had stopped the porn sites in May. Mm-hmm. Of course, I didn't know whether to believe him or not. But then on his Google sites, I was able to get into his Google, and on there it revealed. I found dating sites that he was signed up with.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did that? Boy, that must have been a punch to the gut when you saw the dating sites, huh? How'd you feel about that?
I felt like somebody had slapped me in the face, and then I felt like I'm married to somebody that I don't know.
How long have you guys been married?
We've been married 24 years.
You got kids?
No. We do with a separate marriage, but.
Oh, okay. So this was your second marriage, then?
Well, actually, it was my third marriage. My second marriage ended from an alcoholic. I couldn't deal with him. But anyway, I stayed with him 14 years.
Let me tell you what I think, okay? This relationship is going to be really hard to salvage at this point, right? Do you need proof that this is going on?
Yes, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. The only way I can get a divorce from him is for him either to admit that he has, committed infidelity, or that I have proof that I could show the elders. Because as far as judge-wise, when you go to court on a divorce, it does not matter. Mm-hmm. If you've got pictures, it still doesn't matter. They don't care. They're still not going to call it a divorce because of infidelity or whatever. They're not going to call it that, because I was told that by an attorney I went and talked to.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, your best case scenario then is to get him to admit exactly what he's doing. The way that you're living right now is no way to live.
No, it isn't.
You get up in the morning and say to yourself, if today was the last day of my life, would I want my day to be like this? What's that answer?
It would be no.
You know what? He's a great manipulator, master manipulator. And you need to have the self-confidence that you had 23, 22 years ago, or longer than that, 26, 28 years ago, before you met him. And to say, this is the life that I want for the remaining years of my life. I don't want to have to look at phone bills and bank statements and your GPS location, Because in a healthy relationship, you know this, Jenny, you don't have to do that. Do you know what my husband told me this morning when I left?
What?
He looked at me and he said, "You are so beautiful, and I love you so much, and I want you to remember that all day long." That's what you want, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you deserve. You have all the proof. You have everything that you need. And it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I know. I became obsessed with like all these phone numbers, and because I literally have hundreds of numbers.
Oh, of course. You know what? Because you want to find that one thing that tells you that this is not happening, but it's happening. And as you keep looking, you keep getting more affirmations that it's happening everywhere you look. So I want you to go do it. I want you to make that appointment with the elders in the church and tell them everything that you just told me. Show them the proof. Show them the 75 pages of the phone bills. Oh my gosh. They will have compassion and empathy for you. If they are men and women of God, believers of Christ, he's not living a godly way. They will see this. They will help you with this divorce so that you can move forward with your life. Jenny, you need any help afterwards? Just want to chat with me one-on-one? I'm always here for you. Wow, these stories, I'll tell you.
If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
All right, there's a free app that you should be using, and it doesn't really get written up about or talked about. It's called Google Lens. It's an incredible visual lookup tool. You just point your phone at an object, of course the camera, and it tells you all about it. It sounds boring. You're like, okay, well, why would I use that? Let me tell you. Let's say you're out for a walk and you think, I wonder what kind of tree that is. You'll not only get the name of the tree, but learn all about the tree's habitat and care instructions. Or let's say you're in a foreign country and you're looking at a menu. No problem. Just open Google Lens, point your camera at the menu's text and select Translate. Bingo, bango, done. Or maybe you see someone wearing shoes that you like. You scan them with Google Lens and you get a list of where to buy them along with all the prices and reviews. So the next time you see something and you want to know more about it, just Google Lens it. All right, let's see. So many great tips coming up about how you can try out a laptop because it's a big expense, anywhere from $1,000, $2,000, maybe even more. But how do you do that when everything's online? I know the secret and you will too here on the Kim Komando Show. I'll tell you just something about Raycons is that I have a Peloton the treadmill. And for some reason, it didn't want to hook up with my Apple AirPods. And it was so frustrating. I tried all the updates and reached out to support, and I don't know what the deal was. But I pulled out my Raycons and I just opened up the case for the Raycons, and my Peloton tread came out and said, "Oh, you have Raycons. Do you want us to connect them?" I'm like, "Oh, yes, please. Thank you so much." So if you're having trouble getting your earbuds to connect with whatever the device, you really ought to check out Raycons. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about how you can try a laptop out before you buy it and the toll road scam that's spreading throughout the country. And before we get to all of that, artificial intelligence, you can use it for so many different things. And let's talk about getting fit. Chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, they can create a fitness routine for you in seconds. Just ask them the right questions and prompts, as we say in AI lingo. So you could say, "I'm a 40-year-old guy or gal just getting back into running. Give me a weekly schedule with timings and distances. And I also need to build my upper body strength. And maybe I want to feel less tired in the afternoons. What should I do?" AI will whip up a schedule and even a meal plan. Right? Say heavy on the protein. So next time you're sitting there saying, "Oh, I don't know how to even get started to even do a 5K." Well, that's where you want to get off your butt and just go to chat and say, "Help me with some goals." All right, let's see. Tom in Philadelphia. Hi there, Tom.
Hi, Kim. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Little background. I've watched my share of World War II footage over the years. I had a couple of uncles who fought in the war, and I'm always shocked how the people who saved half of the world or more were basically our grandfathers and our uncles, just normal guys. And when I watch this old footage, I'd always think, like, that'd be neat if I saw one of my uncles on there. Well, now with the advent of the facial recognition software, it got me wondering, is anybody out there trying to connect, identify those guys and connect that footage with their descendants so that these people could say, "Hey, there's Grandpa disembarking," and I Googled it a little bit. I can't seem to see anything out there. So I guess my first question would be, is it technologically possible, or is there some good technological reason why this isn't being done?
Wow. It's a really interesting question. And something that I've thought of, because when you see the faces of the World War II, World War I soldiers, they're babies. Young men, 16, 17, 18 years old. And unfortunately, during that time, not everybody had a photograph of themselves, right? Not like it is today where we take 23 pictures of our salad and say, "There it is, right. We're a selfie." Now, that said, it's not impossible. And I think that technology can make it even more possible, especially with AI, because we can do a lot of cross-matching that maybe wasn't physically possible in the past. But we also are dealing with pretty bad resolution and lighting and, anything that would instantly say, "Oh, that's Tom Jones or Jane Smith or whoever that may be." Now, there is an organization called From Numbers to Names that is trying to do this with Holocaust survivors and also people that did not survive the Holocaust in pre-war Europe. And we are trying to do this with Civil War photographs right now. The Smithsonian Magazine is working on it. I think they're working on something with World War II. I remember seeing something cross my desk about that. But I think it's only a matter of time before we can do this. Having it accessible right now where you could go in and say, "Here's a picture of my dad in the Korean War. And this is, I want to see what he, where he was in any of these photographs." We're not quite there yet. But I'm sure that there's an organization working on this. I know that there's also some effort, I believe out of Louisiana, where you can mail in pictures of any soldier in your family, copies of it, and where they're trying to connect some of the dots. But they'll take any photograph that you have, any photograph, as long as you can say who that is, so that they can help connect the dots. You know what? Let me do some research about this, and I'll put it in a newsletter. You get the newsletter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Now, the one thing on the pictures, I was thinking, a lot of these guys enlisted just for that war, and they have, you always see when they show a guy, they always show
for sure.
his military picture, and I assume that was taken within a year or two, of when he would have been in this footage, but that wouldn't be good enough as a picture.
It might be. It certainly might be, especially because with AI we can fill in all the blanks. But there is a strong movement, especially because we don't have too many World War II vets around anymore, right? And then Korea, and then Vietnam, and so there is some efforts moving forward, and also because so many people are into genealogy right now too.
Yes.
Did you ever hear the story when I went to Normandy? Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Okay.
No.
So probably about, I don't know, everything's always for me like pre-COVID or post-COVID sometimes. So pre-COVID, I know for you too. So pre-COVID, I went to France. We were in Normandy. And my mother texts me and she's like, when you go to Normandy, she said, I'm not going to give you the guy's name, but he was like a third cousin of mine. Let's just say Anthony Garcia. Okay. And so he's like a third cousin of mine. My mom's like, you have to find Tony's where he's buried at Normandy. You've got to find him. And I'm like, okay. And she said he was 18 years old. He was born in Brooklyn, and he enlisted in like June, and he died a couple of months later.
Mm.
And
Wow.
so I get to Normandy, and we went, and whoever was manning that booth where you could give somebody's name and tell you where they would tell you where that person was. Okay, for some reason
Right.
that booth was closed. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Normandy, but it's huge. Okay, acres and acres. And so Barry and me and our son Ian were looking, trying to find Tony. Can't find Tony. And I'm going back and forth with my mother, and she's like, "Oh, Kim, you got to find Tony. Because his mother. This means so much. If you could just take a picture, means so much." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, I got to find." And so now I'm calling out to Tony. I'm like, "Tony, where are you? Help me out." Okay? Good. And people are looking at me like I'm nutso, which I am. So we're there for like 3 hours. I still can't find Tony. And so I texted my mother. I said, "I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but I can't find Tony." And so then I see like some tourists, and they looked like they were from the United States. I said, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the ladies' room?" And the woman looks at me. She goes like, and she had a New York accent. She's like, "Oh, just right down there. Just turn the corner. You'll find it right there." Okay. So I turn the corner and I look, and I found Tony.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I found Tony. And a woman from Brooklyn told me he was right around the corner. So anyway, so it's
Wow.
I know, it's like really. And so I got the picture and brought it home, and my mom sent it off to whoever that was in the family, and yeah, our vets. Gosh, what a war that was. And I'm going to write about this in the newsletter. So if you're not already getting the newsletter, make sure that you sign up over at getkim.com. All right, there is a way you can try out a laptop at home and return it if it doesn't work out for you. But you have to know all the little ins and outs. You see, a typical return policy is 15 days to 30 days. But then you have shipping or restocking fees, and some sites will charge you 25% of the laptop's price. Yikes. Some return windows start the day that you order, not when it's delivered. So where are the best places to buy so you can try it out at home? Costco and Walmart both offer a 90-day return policy with not a lot of hassle. But you don't want to do this at Best Buy. Unless you pay for their pricey membership, that return window is just 15 days. Again, 90 days with Costco and Walmart. So what about Amazon? You have to pay attention to this. They'll give you 30 days if the laptop is damaged or unopened. Okay. But your whole purpose is to try it out. Now, if you've used it, then there's a 15% restocking fee. But here's a pro tip. If you're a loyal Amazon customer, chat with their customer service and ask them to waive the fee. That actually worked out for me. All right, still to come, more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, let's see. Stacy in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Hey, Kim, thanks for taking my call. I'm such a huge fan of yours. Been following you for quite a few years now.
Yay, I love that. I love that. What's going on?
Well, my son approached me with a favor, wanting me to help him with his home improvement project, business that he's starting. Mm-hmm. He wanted me to create a website, interactive website to gather information, I guess, from clients. And I didn't know where to start, or if there are even any resources out there for the beginner layman like I am with no coding. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, ooh.
No, the good news is, Stacy, is that you don't need to be a pocket protected geek anymore in order to build a website. There are places like Wix and Weebly and Squarespace that provide templates. And so the whole idea is that you're going to sign on and you're going to use one of these templates, and you'll have to pick out the one that's, perfect for whatever your son's business is doing, construction, renovation, remodeling, whatever it is. And then you pick the template, and then you just fill in the blanks. And what's nice about this is that it takes into consideration search engine optimization, best practices. And what I really love about it is that the template will work on, if you're on Windows, if you're on Mac, if you're on iOS, if you're Android, if you're on a tablet or on a TV. Follow my drift? So you're not.
Great.
Yeah. So you're not sitting there going well, it looks great on my phone, but it looks really bad on my Lenovo laptop. Okay. So, it will automatically configure that, whatever it is. But like I said, it's like fill in the blank. They call it drag and drop. And then it has forms, so you can create custom forms for quote requests, consultations. It has some e-commerce, so if you wanted to add some stuff for you guys to sell on the website. Now, there are different payment plans. Some of them will include ads on your site, so that's how they're making money, because, nothing's free in this world. And so you'll have to look at the various plans. There's the free plan I don't think you're going to like, because the username is going to be like your son's construction company.wixsite.com. Well, we don't want that, right? So So what you're going to do is get a custom domain, but it's not very expensive. I mean, you're looking at maybe $15 to $30 a month. I mean, it's like, yeah, I can do that. I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. So I would look at Wix first, and then after that, I would probably look at Weebly. Wix seems to have many more templates for you to choose from. It seems to be a little bit easier to use. I'd probably stay away from Squarespace. I know that I mentioned it in the beginning, but that seemed to kind of land itself as a place for photographers and baristas and hair salons and things like that. So give that a shot, take a look at it. And then if you need any help afterwards, and don't forget email marketing, so very important, but we'll talk about that another time. For now, just get the website up. And then once you do that, why don't you give me a call back and we'll talk about email marketing, because that is so important in businesses today. Oh, we have plenty of time for another caller. How about Kurt in Asheville, Tennessee? Hi there, Kurt.
Oh, it's so great talking to you. I've waited 20 years.
Where you been?
Hanging out.
Okay.
And you were everything smart, beautiful, and I always wanted somebody like that, and I met her. Her name's Frida. It's my wife.
Oh, nice.
I love her. So I've got this magic pocket. And I wear carpenter pants. It's got the side pockets. Mm-hmm. I put my phone in there, and I've got the Pro. I always get the Pro Max because I like the bigger screen and everything. So I can't put a case on it and stick it in my pocket. But when I put it in there by itself, it mysteriously dials people. It'll text people. It'll launch audio. I mean, from my audio book, and I mean, it's crazy.
And you're like, stop that,
FBI
stop it.
NSA wants to use my pocket when they can't break into an Apple. I've got the solution.
Just wear carpenter pants.
No, my carpenter pants.
Oh, just yours. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you sure you're not crazy? I'm just wondering. Okay, so.
A little.
Oh, I know. I am too. It's okay. It comes with the territory. All right. So here's some things that you have to check. Under settings, under accessibility, I just want to make sure, just just make sure they haven't turned on pocket mode, because that makes makes the screen more sensitive to movements. You also may have turned on lift to wake, tap to wake. Do you have your Face ID set up on that?
Yes.
Oh, you do, and it's still doing this?
That's what boggles my mind. And you need a passcode to get into it.
Wow. Okay. You got something turned on. Something's turned on. I would look, let me just tell you where I would look. If I was sitting right there next to you, I'd get into settings and accessibility. And there's something in there. Maybe it's guided access, lift to wake, tap to wake, whatever it may be. And then also make sure that it's turned on, that you do need to have your facial ID turned on and put in the PIN. You can always get a case that you can wear on your belt. I know you look like a dork. Everybody looks like a dork if you've got a phone on your belt. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I know that a lot of you guys like to wear your phone on your belt, but you could always get.
Well, the problem is I have stuff on my belt. Like I keep my Leatherman, flashlight, stuff like that. And it's more convenient to shove it down in my carpenter pants.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. But I really think, but you have something turned on, Kurt. Something in, like I said, in the accessibility. Look under guided access, like lift to wake, tap to wake. If I can think of anything else, Kurt, I'm going to put that in their newsletter. So make sure, if you haven't already, sign up for our free newsletter. And thanks for your call today. Hey, just a reminder that you can get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast, right? You're going to love it. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Commando with a K, of course. You're just going to love that. And, somebody was asking me the other day, do we have a show on SiriusXM? Yes, we do. It's called Business Insights with me, Kim Komando, and you can find that on the business channel on SiriusXM. All right, still to come, the toll road scam that's spreading throughout the country I need to warn you about here on the Kim Komando Show. Did you ever get a text saying that you owe money for unpaid tolls? I did, and I don't even live near a toll highway. The scam's back, hitting inboxes all across the U.S. They are blasting out these texts pretending to be real toll services. It may claim to be Easy Pass or Fast Track, and the text says you owe money and includes a link for you to pay. Maybe you just drove through a toll and you forgot. Now, here's the deal. You click, everything looks legit, you pay, except the money goes straight to scammers. And so do not click the link. If you think something's up, just check your toll services site yourself. Hey, just a reminder, I'm giving away an iPhone 16 Pro. Maybe it has your name on it, but you have to go to winfromkim.com to enter.